Hello and welcome back everyone to this game 3 of this best of 3 here. And yeah, it's pretty good so far. Definitely a lot more unique compared to just the standard stuff. So it's all good. It's probably not from Vila. Vila's playing very standard, but the way he's playing the standard is pretty cute, I guess, trying to take as many expands as possible. I'm not sure if that's trying to be... no. Might be excessive, but I guess he's just trying to be as safe as possible. So, yeah, 1-all here. Fate is going to change his color to the blue, so he will be spawning in as the blue and undead player on the top right. He will be facing off against Vila, the ever still green Night Elf in the bottom left. I don't know. Fate, I don't know what Fate was actually trying to do. I mean, I love the way that he's not doing the Crypt Fiend destroyers, but it's just not working. Or at least he's not executing as planned. So we'll see how he does it in this final game. Of course, this game is where it matters. Game 1, it was the same story for him as well, but he was able to miraculously turn it around with his banshees. So I mean, the chance is there. I just wonder how he can do it again, because the same thing won't happen, because it's pretty obvious the second time. So maybe he has a second trick available in his hat. Demon Hunter versus Death Knight once again, so this is very similar to game 2, even with the mass school opening as well. So yeah, there we go. Death Coil probably got picked up as the first ability for the Death Knight, so we're gonna have some early creeping for Fate. Able to pick up the Wisp as well. So, early bit of experience for himself right off the bat. Is going to get the Claws of Attack +6. The Demon Hunter gets himself the Circlet of Nobility. Going straight after this Ogre Magi camp here. Starting out with the Evasion, as you can see those misprocs for himself. Second set of Circlets, so yeah, it's pretty good. Mana Burn probably being picked up as the second ability here. We should have an early tier 2 for both sides. Yes and yes. So yeah, it's very similar, honestly. Not going for the Ogre Magi camp, instead going for the Troll High Priest camp. Should get himself the Sentry Ward, so it's a very good controlling item. It's definitely not going to contribute too much, I guess, to getting the win. It's just keeping tabs on your opponent. And that was the very exciting duel between a skeleton and a couple of archers. Staff of TP Staff gets picked up by the Death Knight. Very interesting on seeing that item in that particular Death Knight inventory. But of course it is just there to deny the item being picked up from the Demon Hunter. Instead he gets himself boots. A cheaper alternative to just escaping. He will meet the Demon Hunter and get himself quite a bit of damage dealt on him. Probably not the best. He probably would have liked to pick up those boots instead, but yeah, regardless, he is going to get his entire mana pool burnt. Oh well, we have tons of ghouls, but these ghouls are not that great of an investment. They have proven themselves not to be a good investment for Fate, as Vila's been doing very well in countering these ghouls, either with the Warden or with the Panda. So I expect the same thing from him this game. Graveyard being completed, but I guess, I mean, by now I've learned that Fate doesn't really like playing with Crypt Fiends all that much, so I wouldn't expect it. We have a Naga Sea Witch being picked up as the second hero, so a lot more of aggressive pathway for this undead player. He might actually do something with his ghouls this time. It's gonna be very interesting, especially against the Demon Hunter. Of course, Demon Hunter is very, very well known for killing a Naga Sea Witch, so very curious to see if the ghouls will kill the Demon Hunter first, or if the Demon Hunter kills the Naga Sea Witch first. Going right off these archers, very uncharacteristic of Vila losing his archers early on, but of course it is definitely a different second hero, so it's to be expected. Level 3 on that Death Knight. He does have level 2 Unholy Aura. It doesn't really matter too much against the, with the Naga Sea Witch since you can't heal her, but I guess like if Fate gets himself level 2 on his Naga, then he can get Forked Lightning. Vila will also get himself his own Naga Sea Witch, basically for the same purpose, since the Demon Hunter is such a good chaser, and the Naga Sea Witch just enables that chase a lot more efficiently. The Tree of Life will get destroyed early on. Yeah. I mean, the map is Last Refuge. It is said to have an advantage for undead players. Night Elves can't actually cheese any positions with their Tree of Lives. And, of course, Vila kind of lost a lot of his advantage already because he lost himself that expand. It didn't really pay out for himself as the entanglement was still going on.
A player's forces are under attack.
So he's kind of in the back foot right now. His double Ancient of Laws is completed. His Tree of Eternity is underway as well, but he's not in the most ideal of situations. I mean, by this time he should already have at least one wave of Dryads, and he just lost himself the Ogre Magi with a Death Coil, so yeah, he might be tilting a little bit, I don't know. But with this really, really aggressive playstyle from Fate, like, why did he not do this like game 2 or game 1 or 2? Black Citadel is
Forces are under attack.
completed, and I assume the Lich should be out as the third hero as well, because he's just such a good finisher when you're chasing down enemies. So yep, there we go. Vila is going to complete himself the Abolish Magic and get some bears underway as well. Tree of Eternity is nearly completed. I have no idea where his hold of it. There we go, Hunt Soul. No upgrades just yet, but then again it's pretty early for upgrades. Destroy Form and Frenzy once again being researched. Of course, Frenzy this time, the ghouls are a lot more relevant. There's no Panda, there's no Warden to deter them, so yeah, we have about 5 ghouls. These 5 ghouls will do their best, of course. They're not gonna like do exemplary well against those bears, but yeah, Frenzy will help.
A player's forces are under attack.
Rock Golem camp will be cleared out by Vila. Ancient of War making it all the more easy for him. Ogre Lord camp is being started by Fate, so he's being very, very, what is it, opportunistic here, hoping for probably a good item, and it is going to be the Cloak of Flames. It's probably one of the weaker items that gets dropped by the Ogre Lord. Yeah, I don't know about the Cloak of Flames, especially against a Night Elf matchup. Bears have quite a bit of health. I'm not sure if the flames will work too well, so yeah, the cloak will get sold for quick cash. Yeah, the most ideal item, I believe, would be the battle drums, just for that flat 10% damage increase. I guess
A player's
the
forces
dual
are
stat
under
items may be pretty good in itself as well. Maybe the strength intelligence, or maybe the intelligence agility would be an ideal item as well, but yeah, it didn't drop. Maybe the other one will. We will see. Book of the Dead gets picked up by the Death Knight as the Ogre Magi gets taken down on the left side here. Should be a little bit careful. I mean, the Book of the Dead could very much be used, and there we go. We are going to have a surround on these bears, and these bears are going to drop like very, very quick flies. I mean, oh, finally the Wisps are going to go and detonate themselves against those skeletons. I mean, there was a risk of the Book of the Dead because Night Elves have such easy access to taking down those magical units, but it just took a very long time for Vila to actually react, and he is going to lose pretty much all of his bears in the process. Destroyer is going to get picked off, but I think that's a fairly good win for our undead player. He was able to pick up like 4 or 5 bears in exchange for a destroyer and the Book of the Dead. It's all fine and dandy for him. Level 4 on the Death Knight, level 2 on the Sea Witch and the Lich as well. Ogre Lord number 2 is going to clear it out, but Vila has other plans. He is going to go straight after a counterattack. Or not, he's going to go after the Ogre Lord camp, and it is going to be intercepted by the undead army. Lich is going to take quite a bit of damage. He is getting slowed a little bit by the Overvenom and the Dryad's slow poison. The statue is going to be used to somewhat of an effect on trying to path the Demon Hunter. The magic crystal ball, okay, gets picked up. So yeah, this is the weakest of items that gets dropped from the Ogre Lord. Yeah, it's kind of nice to get like free vision here and there, but you would rather have a better item. You can pay gold at a golden laboratory just to do that same thing. So yeah, very bad luck for Fate. Hopefully it doesn't mean that he's gonna lose this game. Of course I'm not taking sides here, but I'm just saying that would be rather unfortunate because he has been very unlucky with his item drops. Ogre Magi is going to drop the Mana Stone. It is going to get picked up by the Death Knight, maybe? Better pick it up because the Demon Hunter is right there. It's going to be a good item for either the Lich or the Naga, which the Demon Hunter is taking quite a bit of damage against the undead army here for no reason. Yeah, sure, he's trying to harass, but he just got himself sniped. That could have been easily avoided with the invulnerability potion in that inventory. He just did not use it. He also had the TB scroll, so yeah, it's kind of questionable why he didn't react fast enough, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's just gonna come back to the field with no mana. He is gonna trap his opponent in this corner here, but that's a lot of destroyers, but I guess the Dryads are a little too much for Fate to actually deal with. Oh yikes, we still have Frost Worms being trained for Fate, so I believe Frost Worms are still magic damage, so it doesn't really solve the Dryad problem here. We're probably gonna have to have meat wagons, which is on the way. Of course, there is no wardens to go straight to that meat wagon line. So the ideal thing here for Fate is destroyers and frost worms just deal with those bears. Meat wagons will just clean up the Dryads. The only problem is that the Demon Hunter is nearing level 5, which, you know, gets pretty scary at that point. So we will see. Wisp does spot the incoming undead army here. With no TP scroll. We still have a TP scroll. Never mind. He can TP if he wants. He is waiting. There we go. With the Frost Worm spotted, I would imagine that the Ancient of Winds are gonna go, like, it's gonna get placed down, but so far no Ancient of Winds in sight. A bear does get taken down for a trade of just TP scroll. Where are those Ancient of Winds? It does not look like they are coming down. Vila is fixating on that expansion.
A player's forces are under attack.
That might be a bit of a problem. This is his third or maybe fourth attempt on an expand. Since he saw Frost Worms, he should assume Shades are in play as well, so of course the Shade has spotted this. I guess the Shade is now trying to spot if there's any Ancient of Winds, which it does not look like it. Just trying to mass up as many Dryads as possible. Might be a risky move here. I mean, there's so many air units compared to game 2 that Dryad is probably not better than just getting Hippogriffs. But I could be completely wrong here. We'll see how this turns out to be. 0-0 on upgrades. Meanwhile, Fate has 1-0 on his destroyers and Frost Worms. They are making their way to this what would be expand. Uh-oh. Ancient of War gets spotted. I guess that's what you get for eating your own kind. It's just very, very weird that the undead will drop down the Justice Hammer. Huge burst on that one bear. Yikes. That was a level 2 Death Coil and Frost Worms. That is kind of the trade you make when you burn your Death Coil on damage instead of heals. So all those Frost Worms get taken down thanks to that Dryad Focus Fire, and things are not looking good for Fate. He did kind of find himself in an awkward situation, expecting to find himself fighting a lot of bears, but yeah, he just found himself fighting against a lot of Dryads. I just had to follow that Death Coil, honestly. I do apologize if you wanted to see the fight, but I just wanted to see that Death Coil. Naga Witch could potentially get taken down, and she does indeed. Level 5 on the Death Knight. He does have level 3 Death Coil, but he has no mana thanks to that Demon Hunter's constant mana burning. Dryads are slowly dying. I don't know by who, maybe the Naga Sea Witch, but the other two heroes are in danger. The Demon Hunter could get that Lich, and he does indeed get the Lich right before the TP scroll procs. Nicely done for him. The Frost Worms, I'm not sure if they're gonna work too well. I mean, sure, we heard a lot of Dryads like getting killed, but
A player's forces are under attack.
those Frost Worms literally did nothing. And now since there's so very few little bears, I don't know how useful, more than one Frost Worm could be. Fate is going to be unsummoning his Crypt, and he might just go for a second Slaughterhouse, or maybe just a second Boneyard, I don't know. But I'm very curious to see what his emphasis is going to be. Apparently it's still going to be on Frost Worms.
A player's forces are under attack.
Destroyers, of course they can't attack the Dryad, so they're just going to go straight after those that Demon Hunter. Frost Worm is in the air. Dryads should focus fire, but they're just focus firing on the Lich. The Demon Hunter gets taken down level 4, level 5, level 4. No, actually level 5. Wow, that's a huge amount of resources required to actually bring him back. They should have just went after that Frost Worm, but there were 2 tunnel vision on that Lich, I believe. Such a weird game, honestly. It kind of worked out for Vila, but that fight just a couple of seconds ago just did not work out well for him anymore. 37 versus 66. It seemed like Fate somehow managed to turn this around again. This is a weird series, honestly. Definitely beats my expectations. The shade is still there. Of course, Night Elf has very few ways of actually spotting this. I'm trying to remember on Night Elf invisibility detection. They have the Priest of the Moon, Owl. They have the Sentinels from the Huntresses. I think that's all, honestly. I don't remember much stealth detection from Night Elf's side. Yeah, I think that's all, honestly. The towers can't get any buffs. Yeah, that's all, honestly. I think that's all. Maybe the comments will correct me if I'm wrong. 2 destroyers, 3 destroyers, 2 frost worms in the air, 3 statues available just in case. And this just goes to show how, how different Vila will play if he can't get his expansions completed. He is struggling right now. I guess that second expand was required in order to add that Ancient of Wind component in, but because he was struggling in resources, he just couldn't. I mean, it's not saying that Fate is doing well in terms of expansions either. He has no expansions, but at least he didn't burn, he didn't burn much on his expand attempts. He just went focused on his one base. $69 versus 52. Yeah, I mean, lots of dryads, a minimum amount of bears, of course. I really think that this army can do very well against this army, but it just has to be played well. I think the Black Citadel is going to get unsummoned. Really wants to get that last unit in. I don't know what it will be because Fate is supply blocked. I think he just bought an item. I could be wrong, but yeah. Scroll of Healings and Mana Potions. This will be the final battle, most likely, unless it gets prolonged even longer. Then, if it does, Vila wins because he is gonna mine off of a second base now. But if Vila loses, then obviously Fate wins. We'll see. 69 versus 51. Oh, this is very scary. Vila looks to be at a pretty decisive disadvantage here. Meatwagon is gonna do pretty well against those dryads and of course any buildings as well. Acolytes being brought over just for that all-in. The dryads not in a good position. I don't know why they are there. The bears and the demon hunter needs to be the one that initiates the fight. Statues just being there to be annoying. Of course, if they soak any damage, then that's like all goods as well, because that's just time being wasted on them instead of the more important units. The demon hunter does have the invulnerable position if he wants to use it. He's getting burst down fairly quickly. Nova Coil lightning onto that Naga Sea Witch, and it does seem like that Vila will lose himself his third hero, or second hero there. All the bears are down. It's just up to the dryads now. Demon Hunter still has his invulnerable position, and he will pop it, and he will go straight after those frost rims. But we do hear all those dryads just crying right there. The Death Knight and the Lich is too much to handle, and the Demon Hunter will get taken down. Level 6 onto the Death Knight, and GG for Vila. That is going to be a pretty easy win for Fate. I mean, it was easy in the later stages of the game, but it was very difficult to predict at the early stages because, of course, it was just very weird. Hope you guys enjoyed this full best of 3 series. Yeah, my throat hurts because I've been casting for so long. I will try my best to find replays, but I have absolutely no idea if I can actually find any replays or not. Enjoy your day.